Well, this is a pleasant surprise. A post-apocalyptic anime that came out on April Fool's Day. Though this was never on my radar, the premise got me intrigued. And since the first episode just released, I decided to give it a shot. And I am glad to say that it did not disappoint. I would go as far as to say that this is Japan's take of The Last of Us. But rather than dealing with zombies, the survivors are dealing with mysterious beasts that emerge in the evening. So without further ado, let's get into Tengoku Daimakyou, or Heavenly Delusion in English. It has been 15 years since the fall of civilization, on what is to become known as the Collapse. The story is told in two perspectives. The first with Mimihime and Tokyo, not to be mistaken with Japan's capital, but spelled as Tokyo. Both girls who live and study in an isolated sheltered facility, unaware of the devastated remains of the world outside. Meanwhile, Maru, who closely resembles Tokyo, traverses throughout the remains of Japan, accompanied by his hired bodyguard, Kiruko, in search of a place called Heaven for yet to be revealed motives. Without a doubt, the paths of these cast of characters will intertwine, and is already proving to be a very interesting plot. How did the world come to be in the state that it is in? How did the shelter survive the catastrophe? Did its creators anticipate it ahead of time? What is Heaven exactly? And why are Maru and Kiruko willing to risk everything for it? Already so many questions are going through my mind. I am eager to know more about these characters, as well as what awaits them in this cruel and unforgiving world. This goes to show that despite the trite setting, there are ways to keep a plot fresh, as long as the writer is passionate and determined to tell a good story. In this first episode, Heavenly Delusion goes into great detail on how Maru and Kiruko go on their day-to-day, scavenging resources for their survival, from finding precious commodities such as toilet paper, to engaging in combat with other desperate and depraved survivors, seeking to rob them, and other implied nefarious deeds. The show does not pull punches with regards to the harshness of its reality, especially when Maru and Kiruko witness corpses of a couple holding hands in bed, indicating that they died due to starvation, which meant that they will not find any food in their home. The backstories of the duo are also interesting to say the least, with Maru, who mysteriously looks like Tokyo, is clearly very skilled in fighting, and it's implied that he has intimate feelings towards Kiruko, while his bodyguard, on the other hand, has motives of her own while escorting Maru in finding Heaven. The ray gun-wielding survivor is in search for a good friend, as well as another individual who is seemingly her lover or has the intent of making him so. That is not to say that Mimihime and Tokyo are lagging behind, as their backstories also leave a remarkable impression. While spending another day in school, it is revealed that Mimihime has the ability to predict the future, and is having visions of a world outside of what they know, and will meet two individuals who are implied to be Maru and Kiruko, to nobody's surprise. Tokyo, after receiving a mysterious message while in class, and learning about the world beyond the walls, contemplates in the evening and inquires with the director of the shelter if this is indeed the case. The director then confirms that an outside world does exist, but describes it as hell, which strongly implies that they are prohibited from going beyond the walls, which will prove to be an interesting plot point moving forward. With everything I have said, do not mistake this show for simply spoon-feeding all the details to the viewer, as there are plot points shown in this first episode that definitely left me with questions yet unanswered, such as the multiple scars on Kiruko's back, the mysterious origins of the innkeeper that Maru and Kiruko encounter, and the flying beast that appears at night towards the end of the episode. After watching multiple subpar content recently, this anime is truly a breath of fresh air, and I cannot wait for the release of the next episode, and I strongly recommend you giving it a chance. While I have been covering terrible shows of late and why you should avoid it, I likewise believe in highlighting great content that go under the radar to provide it with much needed support. And that about wraps it up for today. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe if you have not already. Have a great day.